A week into the new year, how are you still keeping up your resolution? Well, first thing, by not making them on New Year's Eve or first day, because what happens is it builds anxiety and it raises the perceived stakes that, oh my god, if I don't get it right on the first day of the year and then continue to get it right on the first week and the first month, I'm done. I failed. Oh no. Ha. But wait, that's not how it's supposed to be, right? There is a better way. And that way is you pick an ordinary date, like 17th of January. What happens is that the stakes are not that high. And then you perceive it as an ordinary day to make great changes. Because that's how you stay cool with your objectives. If you put your goal, your objectives on a really high pedestal, then it's going to be a lot more difficult than it actually is, right? So it's better to start on an ordinary day. That way, your mind doesn't perceive it as something really tremendous. And I've experienced this many times that whenever I used to fail on the first of Jan or the first week itself, I used to think, oh, then I've lost the chance to make good progress through the year. I know it sounds dumb and stupid, but that's how I used to feel. I failed on multiple New Year resolutions. So here's the trick: you don't start on the first, you start on a very ordinary day in January, preferably on the third or fourth week itself, right? And then you go on to the second point, which is don't make too many changes and no drastic changes. Like, say, for example, if you have chosen to eat healthy, don't change your entire diet overnight. That's not going to help anyone because the drastic change is going to create a lot of turmoil in your head. You're going to have a lot of cravings to eat food that is a little more palatable as compared to the healthier options. There can, yes, surely there can be healthier, palatable foods as well. But let's say you don't have a lot of healthier, palatable foods, which is mostly the case. That healthy foods are not as tasty as those ready to eat snacks or processed food, right? They're more tantalizing oftentimes. So, suppose that you have made a choice to eat healthy, then in the first couple of weeks, have only one healthy meal as compared to all three or four meals you have. Then in the next month, you change that to two healthy meals, wherein you will have absolutely no processed food, for example. Then next month, you change that even more. So every month, you add on a little more level of difficulty, a little more level of finesse to your objective. So that way, it makes the change sustainable. Okay. And then don't give up if you fail. That's the third point. Let's say you've had a good streak of 3 months and you've achieved three healthy meals and one processed food meal, wherein you're having kind of a bit of a junk food with a lot of sugary desserts, maybe at the end. And you end up having, let's say, instead of three, you end up having only two healthy meals. And that happens for 3 days in a row in the third month. And then you start to question, hey, I'm not being successful with my endeavor. What should I do? Should I even, maybe I should just go back to the old ways? And then there are other triggers, there are landmines, there are some problematic situations arising at workplace or at home, or there is someone who cuts you off in the traffic and you're having a bad day and you're contemplating going back to your old ways, right? But that is the biggest crucible for growth. You know, you stick your ground on that day. You say, hey, I may have had a bad couple of days or even couple of weeks, but let me look back. Let me see how many good days or weeks or months I've had. I've had 3 good months. and just a couple of days, a couple of weeks that have been not so good. So what? I'm just going to dust it off and keep going ahead. Tomorrow, I'm going to make sure that it's better than today. And that way, it will be sustainable instead of making that small loss into an all out, I give up. There's no point in trying. Let me go back to my old ways. Instead of that, you sit in a quiet place for 10-15 minutes. You tell yourself, I'm going to make tomorrow a better day and get back on track and ensure that the momentum continues. So that's how you make a loss into a win. And I came up with this example today afternoon that what happens when you're riding a bicycle and there's a dwindly patch, there's a rough patch, and you're almost about to fall down. You're almost about to lose control of the handle. You don't stop pedaling. Probably for a few moments you do, but then you don't give up the entire control of the bike then and there, right? What do you do after that? Um, you you continue with your pedaling, and the balance is still there. Your momentum might have dwindled a little bit with a rough patch, but that doesn't mean you wait for your entire body to hit the ground and you start crying and give up. No, that's not how you cycle, right? So, similarly, with your other goals, also, your New Year resolutions, also, don't give up. Um, then celebrate small wins. Whenever there is a little bit of a rough patch, that's the last sentence in the third point. Instead, just focus on securing the next small win, right? And whenever you have that win, the fourth point is you celebrate that win. That's very important. And how do you celebrate? Suppose it's your resolution to eat healthier food, less processed food. You celebrate that win with a healthy treat that may be a little expensive, but healthy nonetheless. Instead of treating yourself with an all out greasy and sugary and carbonated drinks filled fiesta, how about you have that one expensive meal at a good restaurant which is made of healthy ingredients, yet highly nutritious and tasty and delicious and mouth-watering? So when you do that, you're reinforcing your mind, and that's positive reinforcement. You're reinforcing your mind to make better choices. So the reward mechanism, your dopamine is going to be aligned in that way. You're going to um, motivate yourself to stay on track even more, because then you'll remind yourself that, hey, I'm going to have that opportunity to have that good meal at that good restaurant which is healthy, nutritious, yet delicious, right? So you're going to have a great time with this. It's like gamifying your own goals, right? We are living in an age of gamification, and who doesn't love to play a game, right? A game wherein everybody wins, your health, your mind, your taste buds. So have a great time with this. All the very best, and I'm sure you'll crack this New Year's resolution for all the years to come. All the very best, and Godspeed.